Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another and our second Tuesday night Q&A sessions. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys can hear me and see me as well. If you can, let me know in the comment section. Make sure the audio and the video is good before we start. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me. Please let me know. And as usual, thanks for taking the time out to join me on the Q&A. Okay, looks like we're good. Amazing. So this is the second stream that I'm doing like this, and I'm using some new stuff. So there's always the technical hitches, you know how it is, but hopefully everything will go well today. I've not long got in. It's been a long day. So it's just a lot of rushing around today to try and get on time to be on here for 8 o'clock. I really am going to try and make this a real consistent part of my week. So I'm going to try and do this every single week. Every Tuesday from 8 till 9. I'm going to give you guys an hour of my time, personal time to try and see if I can help you guys with anything, um, share the knowledge and so on. And yeah, see if I can answer any questions. So welcome everybody for joining in. I will shout out a couple of you guys that are already here. We got C1 Pee Wee. Hello. Good evening to you. 877 CMS. Hi to you as well. I will get to your questions in a second as well. Edith Weston as well from sunny Spain. Lovely. We have got great weather here today. Today was really nice, really hot. Really nice weather today. This week's supposed to be good weather, so thankfully we're getting some good weather for a change. But you know what it's like in London, especially if you've seen our videos, it changes at any time. So hopefully it continues like this for a little while. MC1703 as well has joined us. Thank you. Sir Digby as well. Thank you. Yes, both. Yep. Ches, I think. Hopefully I got that right. Hey, welcome. Dean as well. Welcome. We've got Pre-Mortal One as well. Welcome as well. And David Cheswick as well. Can see all the way. So another one in Spain as well. Oh, cool, nice one in sunny Spain. So I'm sure I'm glad to hear you guys are having good weather out there. Welcome. We also got Ocean as well. Welcome, welcome today. I'm gonna get back to you guys' questions, so don't worry about that. Um, Richard as well. Hi, Richard. Good evening, and thank you for joining us today. So also people have asked this as well because people are always asking for how can you contact me. So I put it on the screen today. So I've got Instagram. You can contact me via the DMs there. Sometimes a bit slow to reply on Instagram because I don't always use it. So it sort of backs up and then I get in there and I have to sort of reply to sort of like 20 messages at a time. Also I'm on TikTok as well. I don't really use it as much, but I know some people use TikTok, so I'm on there. And also I've got my email, which is probably the best way to get hold of me is by the emails because I check my emails every day. I don't necessarily get back to everybody every day. Depends on what time I get in and how tired I am. But I will get back to you there as well. So thanks for that. So I'm going to try and go through some questions. As I said before, the last time, like last week, we didn't get through every question. There's so many questions. The questions that come on and come on and come on, and I try my best to sort of get through them really quickly. Some of them, if I can't answer it, I'm going to tell you straight up I can't answer it. Somebody else might be able to answer it, and some of you, I might say, send me an email. A couple of you did send me email last week as well, and I try my best to try and help you with whatever your queries are. Okay, so I'm going to start with the questions. So first question we got here is from C1 Pee Wee. Says, would you come to the States and do work if the money was great? Um, I would possibly, yeah. I mean, I've traveled to work. I traveled to the Caribbean to work on 2 occasions. I was actually supposed to go to St. Lucia a couple of months ago to do a project. But it just ended up being too last minute. sort of thing. Couldn't be organized in time, so I didn't go in the end. And to be honest, it's not really the money for me. Not everything's sort of about the money. I enjoy what I do, and I like doing the YouTube, and I like bringing content. So even now, a lot of the jobs that we do are very much picked for you guys. Like, I pick a lot of the jobs with in mind that it's going to be good things, to either something different so that I can show something different, and just something that's going to be interesting. So, for instance, we're doing a timber build. I took that timber build particularly because it's not something that's commonly done, and I just thought it'd be some good content to do something different. And for people who may be interested in doing a timber build, they'll get to see a timber build. Also, you guys know the notorious cowboy build job. So many people have said, don't do it. Don't do it. It's very risky. I know it's very, very risky. But I just felt like well, one, I really felt bad for the family. That's one. That's the first thing. I really, really felt bad for them. And I always get sort of people pulling my heartstrings and stuff like this. But also, I just thought that it'd be really good content for people to see, because especially as I had been doing a series on what to look out for when you're looking for builders and stuff like that, I just thought this would just summarize everything that could possibly go wrong and try to teach people stuff along the way. So that's partly why I actually took that job on. So it's not just about money, it's about experience. The experience is about doing things that are interesting. So I would definitely travel for work. I've had so many offers to travel in so many different places, everywhere from other parts of the UK to Europe to Greece to America to the Caribbean. There's loads of places people have asked. Um, but I have to do something that's feasible, because obviously I have a crew that I work with who are employed by me, so I can't just sort of up and leave and go here and go there. I have a family and so on. So maybe if it was sort of smaller, shorter trips, maybe I'll consider just again for the content, so on. So yeah, if you interested in that, maybe contact me and we can discuss it. So let's see. Second question we have from MC1703. Hi Darren, quick one. How comes you haven't done many lofts recently? Um, the main answer to that, to be honest, is just I don't have a lot of people ask for lofts. I think that's the main reason. I have a few in hand at the moment, that few sort of inquiries. Most of the, well, actually, I think they're sort of lofts and extensions together. Um, but people don't ask for them much, not as much as extensions or garden houses. That's the only reason why we don't do them. I mean, I've done them before, I've done lofts before, um, but just because not at least to us anyway. A lot of people haven't asked for us to do lofts, so that's probably why you haven't seen us do any. Um, cool. So I'm gonna keep it moving. Let's see questions. Ocean says, "Hi Darren, love the channel. Keep up the good work. What is the best way to lay paving slabs for in the garden? Sand or mortar? I am using MOT1 base. Thanks." It, really the main question is what type of slabs you're using. Um, I would probably lean to mortar anyway. Um, Especially if they're sort of like large slabs. It's best to sort of go for mortar, but it depends on what sort of slabs they are. But I would probably say mortar is what I would go for. But you do have to do sort of full beds of mortar, not just sort of spotting. And Yeah, I think that's probably what I would recommend to do. If you've got the sub base already, you can lay the cement straight onto the sub base, the mortar, and bed them into the mortar. All right, let's keep moving. So we got BMF 3000. Love your videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Hi Neil. Good evening. Good evening to you, Neil. Tony C ask, "Hi Darren, how did you learn to do everything in building?" So this is a question that comes up a lot. It's usually this question or what's your main trade? Um, I'm basically self-taught. That's the long and short of it, really. I'm self-taught. I did an apprenticeship when I was younger, when I was about 17 years old, so that's a long time ago. For about 3 to 4 years, I think it was, in electrical engineering. So I was doing that, and then I came out of that altogether, and I actually went into audio engineering. I became a sound engineer. I did a lot of studio work. I did gigging and stuff. I had my own desks and sound systems and stuff. I did that for a while, and then I ended up in 2008. I ended up doing sort of handy jobs on the side, painting and decorating, flooring. Then I started doing sort of kitchens and bathrooms, and I just picked up various skills along the way because I'm really interested in this stuff, always have been. So I just sort of picked up skills, always trying to learn stuff. And then I'm just basically here today, basically. So it's just been a long journey of sort of educating myself and applying myself, and working hard and learning stuff as I'm going along. We've got Sean. Also, I'll just mention as well, I did mention this in another video. I'm actually going to be starting an electrical installation course. So I'm actually going to qualify as an electrician, sorry. So I actually start that in what we now to the 16, 3 weeks time. I start that in 3 weeks time. So I'll be doing that part-time course on weekends, and be and with the aim to qualify so that I can do electrical installations as part of what we do now. So another one I'm trying to add to the belt. um, cool. So we got Sean. Sean Harris says, "How much does it cost to do a timber frame extension? Is it cheaper?" Someone asked me that today. Funny enough, on the job we were, someone asked me that. Is it cheaper? It can be, but not necessarily. It depends on quite a lot of things. So, for instance, the main thing that is supposed to be cheaper is the labor, in the sense of the time it takes to build. But the main part of a timber frame extension that's different than a traditional brick build is the walls. That's the main thing, because the the roofs are pretty much the same. They're timber anyway. Like, for instance, the one that we're doing now, the roof we're doing is a typical flat roof, which you would have put if it was a brick build anyway. The foundations, you can save some money, because if you've seen the foundations of the timber build that we're doing, they're less substantial than your standard brick build, because the weight of the building is a lot lighter. So they you tend to get away with less substantial um, foundations. So you can save a decent amount on the foundations. Timber is astronomically high on price at the moment. So all the savings you used to get on that are sort of swallowed up by the price hike on wood at the moment. Um, I'm finding the insulation that we've got to put in on this timber frame spec is higher than we would have had to put in a typical cavity construction. So I'm now debating on whether a timber frame is cheaper. I think, from my what I'm seeing, firmly, the insulation properties are better for the wooden house or the wooden build, in that it's better insulated. So I think it's got a plus on that side. Just I think they are warmer. I think it's going to be warmer than a brick build. So that in itself will save you money over the long run. Um, so I'm sort of I don't have I'm not sure of convinced yet of what I think is the best. I'm just seeing how this build goes, and I'll probably have a better idea on which one I think is better to go for. So all right, let's keep moving. Steve says, "Hi Darren, you deserve a long hot holiday in the sun. You're working too hard. I know, I really do. I'm supposed to be in I should have been in the Caribbean by now. I should actually be in the Caribbean now, building my house, showing you guys the content. I've talked about this before. I should have been there by this time now, but we had a lot of delays on our planning and stuff, and that's just slowed everything down. So I'm still here, working and doing what we do. So yeah, unfortunately, but okay, let's see. Mega Man says, "Hi Darren, what is your formula for pricing jobs?" Um, my formula, it's sort of in my head to an extent based on experience, but what I tend to do is I tend to have like Excel spreadsheet. I have a sort of a roughly standard one, and I sort of go through the things that needs to be done. So if we build an extension, for instance, I'm sort of just like, um, I've got a foundation to do, I've got walls to do, I've got a roof to do. I sort of have my estimate of how much man power is or man labor it's going to be, and then basically I sort of calculate it. I have my day rate. I have obviously have guys working, so we have a sort of working day rate, and uh and then obviously I calculate materials, which are a lot easier for me to calculate because I can get those figures. And I basically just calculate like that. Yeah, and I just put it in my spreadsheet and my formula, and then I just add it all up and I get my figure at the end. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Hi guys, sorry about that. Cool. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna keep moving on. Um, Sorry, trying to get through all these messages. Give me 1 second. Cool. Right. So we have now, where am I? Next question. Medium to large to large slabs. Yeah, I would probably go for the sand and cement. And again, depends on the thickness of the slab. So I would probably go for sand and cement. I think that's probably the best way to do them. So question from Prime Mortal One says, I'm thinking of converting my detached garage to an office room. The size is 4 by 3 with a pitched roof and constructed out of breeze block and tiled roof. Do I need building permission to convert it? Um, I can't give you a definite answer on that. It depends on it depends on what level of work I guess you're going to be doing. I did mention in the last video that I'm gonna have do some videos with some other specialists. So I'm supposed to be lining up one with actually an architect that does planning. So these are the questions that someone like her would be able to answer. So I'm gonna really try and see if I can get her on. She's a fellow Dominican as well, and she deals with planning. So I'm gonna try and see if I get her in to answer because people have a lot of questions about planning and stuff like that. So I don't know the answer to that because I've never had to do one, so I've never needed to know that. So unfortunately, I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't tell you the answer on that one. Okay, let's see. David Cheswick says, what got you in the building game in the first place? For me, it was an old YTS scheme. Um, I just, yeah, as I mentioned, I just sort of got into it just because something I've enjoyed doing. I've always enjoyed doing it. And then it's crazy because I was a sound engineer. I was running my own company. 2008, we had the financial crisis, the global financial crisis, and everything sort of slowed down in industry. And I was looking for extra things to do on the side. I started advertising sort of like in Gumtree for like doing decorating because I knew I could paint well and I could do certain flooring I'd done for myself and my family and stuff. Started doing it on the side, and then I ended up getting a job with a company as an engineer, and we were doing installations like sound systems in drama theaters and lighting systems, and I was designing them and installing them for theaters and schools and stuff like that. And then I was doing these on the side. I was doing the sort of decorating and stuff on the side, and I really was enjoying it, and I started getting really busy, and to the point that I was enjoying it more than what I was doing. And then I just left the job, and then I just said I'm just going to go back to work for myself. And yeah, it just basically started from there, and just I've been doing it ever since 2008 is when I left there and ventured out to do um building work. Let's see here. Jason. Hi, Jason. Jason says, hey, bud, I have an old brick pig shed, which is roughly 5 by 15 meters. Oh, that's massive. It's very old and has a metal curved roof. How easy would it be to get planning on that to convert it into an annex? Wow. So there's another planning question again, which I would have absolutely no idea on on that. I mean, planning, if you would use it for an annex, besides planning, is there's the building regs aspect. There would probably be a lot of work to make that to a habitable standard as far as building regs is concerned. So that would probably be a big part of it. But as far as the planning is concerned, I honestly wouldn't know. I mean, planning is also dependent on where you are, conservation, different local boroughs and stuff like that. Their plannings tend to be a little bit more risk, a bit more sort of lapsed or restricted than others. So it really depends on where you are, and but I wouldn't be able to answer that one, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. I'm local to you. Where is the big challenge job? Big challenge job. I'm assuming you're talking about the one where we're knocking down. That's in South London, Streatham. We're in Streatham on that job. If that's what you're talking about, that's where that project is. Um, sorry, let's see. So next one, where are we? Dave, hi Dave. Dave's Dave said, saw you did a video at Roller World. Used to go there a lot a few years ago. You got smooth moves, Darren. Yes, I did a live once. I went down there for an event. It was the first and only time I've ever been there. I've always wanted to go, but I've never actually made the trip. And there was an event there, and I went to it. I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I'm sure you probably know Roller World is closed down. Sadly, after so many years in Colchester, it's closed down and it's no more. So that was an unfortunate one there. Really nice place it was to skate. If those of you don't know, I roller skate as a hobby as well. Not as much as I used to, but I do still do it. I went out this Saturday, I actually roller skated. But yeah, it's something I do in my spare time. Abu says, "Hey Darren, great content. I'm looking to get a 5x6 summer house built. Price aside, what's your recommendation? Timber or block? You mentioned maintenance previously. Please explain. Anything else?" For summer houses, my preference, based on, obviously we build them and I know what goes into them, and I would personally go for a block build. That's what I would personally build. Maintenance is the main issues with maintenance would be timber, timber maintenance. So if it's, say, if it's clad, you might need to varnish it or oil it or whatever. And in my experience, a lot of people don't do the maintenance that's required for these things, and not just for garden houses. I mean, even things like um oak worktops in kitchens. The amount of, they're beautiful. I love wood, but the amount of people who don't maintain them, these are the things that you have to sort of oil every year, and it's sort of a lot of work and upkeep to keep them in their optimal condition. So I think that personally, I think the block builds is what I prefer. Most of the ones that we build, they are basically low to no maintenance, and what we build, expect it to last, as far as I'm concerned, should last as long as the house, the way we build them. So and then timber construction is not going to live that long, so I would always go for the block. And when I look online and I look at some of the timber houses that are out there, the prices that they're charging it for are insane. I think I just find it really expensive. I know timber is expensive, but if you guys see the 7x4 garden house that we building right now, the guy had told me he had got someone in to have a look at it who constructs the timber ones, and his price was higher than our price for the block build. Saying that, he was a sort of mate of mine. I said did give him a good price, but it was quoted quite a bit more than we quoted for to build this in block. So definitely can be built cheaper in block in many instances, I think. Um, so that's what I sort of recommend. Let's see. Action replay. Even though you have marked out the downlight positions, how to protect the electric cable from damage when cutting the hole? Is the insulation still there? Do you recut like with a Stanley knife? Good question. So if you look at Not today's video of the 7x4. The episode before that, when I was actually cutting it, you might see. So what I do is I cut the plasterboard first, and then so I tend to cut plasterboard, and it tends to mark the insulation because the insulation is quite tight up to the plasterboard. Then I use either a what do you call it, a plasterboard knife, and cut the insulation out around the hole. Um, the last video I done, I actually used a hacksaw blade because I couldn't find my knife, and the hacksaw blade I found was actually even better. It worked a lot better. It was such a neat cut because the blade is the teeth are a lot finer. So I used a hacksaw blade. You just use a hacksaw blade and you go around the circle and you just cut the insulation out. So the way we don't damage the cable is what I do is you see the cable hanging through the insulation, but before when we put the plasterboard up, we pop the cable back through the hole right up inside. So it's nowhere near the surface. We just poke it back into the hole. And when I cut the hole, I'm able to sort of get my hand in and pull it out. So that's why the cable doesn't get damaged. It's well out of the way. Um, and then you just cut it after. So that's how I do it. Anyway, so I hope that helps. Matthew says, "Hi, I'm about to start planning building a summer house and deck for a hot tub. Cool. And barbecue. Any tips or advice to make it as good as possible? Thanks. Enjoying the videos." Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, as good as possible. I don't know what the design you've got in mind, but I would again, I mean, my main advice is build it out brick. That's just my preference. Um, unless you're really willing to do the work. Same thing for decking. If you're going to do decking, you got to maintain it. There's like so much decking that doesn't last because it's not regularly maintained. Even the job we're on now, my mate's putting timber decking, but whether he can keep up the maintenance is another story. It needs oiling now. It's just like you've got to do it every summer. You've got to do it every summer. So if you haven't got the time, then you might have to consider composite decking. It's a lot more expensive. If you can afford it, you haven't got to maintain it. If you can do the maintenance, then go for the wood because it does look better in my opinion. Um, so yeah, just think of your maintenance of what you've got to maintain and whether you're gonna be able to manage it. Especially if you've got hot tubs and you've got decking, you might have to consider it's going to be getting wet. The decking wood can get rotten if it's not treated properly and regularly. So consider all these sort of things. Cool. All right, so keep moving. Hi Letitia, welcome. Corey says, sorry, when we lost it, it's jumped up. Hi Darren, any idea why my concrete base looks orange, especially when wet? Orange, that's an interesting one. I've never seen that before. Um, maybe as a guess. I don't know how old it is. Orange sounds like first thing I would lean to would be sand. I'm not sure maybe if the mix didn't have enough cement in it. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell. I've never seen concrete go orange, so I'm not really sure, unfortunately, of why that is. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure. I really not so sorry. Sorry, I can't help on that one. 877 says, "Love the vids. Don't know how you have the energy. Why do builders stereotypically take a lot longer than they first say? Are they juggling several jobs?" It's usually a mixture of things. I think that even when I was working as an apprentice, I learned that very early that basically um building contract, it doesn't matter what the size of the company is, whether it's a government company, a commercial job, a residential, it's just built jobs just never finish. And I just feel like we all hope for the best. We all have a plan of what we think we're gonna do, and then the jobs happen. Things happen, and it just never goes away. There's certain things that are in your control, and there's certain things that are out of your control. Sometimes we deal with issues with delay things that are to do with other people, suppliers. If you're somebody that's dealing with subcontractors can let you down. um for instance, with us trying to get electricians, partly why I'm doing this course is a big part sometimes of our delays where we're trying to just secure an electrician, and it's so difficult because most of them are so busy. Then that can cause certain delays if you need certain services to be done before you can say plasterboard or whatever. So it's various things. Sometimes, too much on for the builder, too many jobs, too much going on. We've had an issue where we're just sort of recovering from where, I had a periods of, low staffing in that sense. I mean, we're small anyway, so losing one guy, two guys for any period of time can really have a knock-on effect for me. Guys having days off sick can have a huge effect on my schedule. So we have jobs booked up in months in advance. So as soon as you start getting delays, when you start coming up to your next jobs, you try sometimes you can push jobs back a bit, sometimes you can't, and then a knock-on effects causes other delays and other delays, and so there's just various reasons. I mean, I don't think most builders want to be on a job longer than they have to be. Sometimes it costs me a lot just when a job is running on too long. um it's just how it is sometimes. But there's a plethora of reasons for that. Thoriel says, "Hi Darren, I've built up to DPC, but realized from one corner to another there's a 50 mil height difference. Best way to even this out so my corners are at the same height. Love the videos." Wow. 50 mil is a fair bit, I would say. It's almost a brick. Um, if you built it in, yeah, wow, what do you do with that? It's a hard one. If you're DPC, I'm assuming it's done in brick. I'm just assuming here. Um, you might just want to redo it, or maybe. I think that that would probably be the best thing to do. How feasible that is and cost effective is another story. But sort of, there is ways of getting around, still getting your internal floor level, even though your DPC level is not level. But uh, it's a tough one. Gosh, 50 mil, 50 mil. And it also depends on what the width of it is on 50 mil over what length space. Is it 3 meters? Is it 6 meters? The shorter, the worse it really is. If you can sort of redo it, but also it's why is it out? Um, if it's a couple of courses, you're never going to be able to straighten it out by increasing your bedding. It's just going to be too much. So it might have been a concrete issue where the concrete is just out. Um, yeah, I would need to know more. I would need to know more to be able to sort of maybe help you with a sort of a plan to sort of to fix that. I would really need to know more. How many courses you've got, how many courses are under the ground. I don't know. I would need, because you ideally you'd want to straighten that underneath the ground. So it's without knowing that, I need to have a little bit more information. So if you've got some photos of it, send it to my email, and then let me see exactly what you have, and then I might be able to give you some advice on that if you do that. I put my email on the screen there as well for you guys. So you can send it there or you can DM it to me as well. Any of those you can do. Send it through to me as well. Also, we do welcome any sponsorship as well, especially for this live stream. So if you guys want to do that, you can use super chats. We appreciate those of you who do. A couple of you did last week, and also we have a PayPal account as well. So, okay, next question. Let's see. Richard. Hi, Richard. Where do you buy your materials from mainly? Timber insulation, etc. Or cheeky plug for some companies here. I'll just be honest. Most of my stuff I buy from Selco. Because most of our jobs, they just tend to be one very local to us. So I tend to use them. I've been using them for a while. I get a bit of discount there. I also use I've been using Lords recently. I found that I've been getting some good prices on their timber. For the timber build, the extension build, bought most of the timber from Lords. There's one local as well, and we were getting better prices than Selco, so I use them for a lot of that. Um, and then for sort of small sort of jobs where I need a few bits here and there, I tend to use Wix most of the time. If there's a local Wix, I do get, again, a bit of discount off there of them whenever on anything in the store. So I always use them as well. So those are probably the main three. And I use places like Screwfix a lot for, bits and bobs. I will use them for stuff as well. Let's see. Letitia says, really enjoy watching the videos. You and your team are very hard workers. Thank you very much. Dave says, I've been reading up on damp, as have some down low external wall of my semi-detached house. There seems to be a lot of scams in dealing with it, but I wonder any work you've done or would recommend. And damp, I have some general knowledge about damp, and I've done a few bits here and there. Damp is a thing where you have to be able to uh find the root cause of the damp. So that will tend to be if you're a builder or or have some level of knowledge of these things, you can often tell telltale signs by, but you'd have to see it to know exactly what the issues are. There's a channel. I'm gonna plug a guy. I'm gonna plug a channel on here. There's a channel. Um, is it it's a very interesting channel. It's called Sam the Damp Man or something like that. I think his name is. I watched a couple of his videos, and I think he's a northerner, and he has some sort of like tongue in cheek stuff. He does a lot of reactions to other videos. He probably do a reaction to one of my plastering videos and slag me off sometime because he really goes in on some people. But he's I don't know him, but he says he's sort of damp expert, and he's a damp surveyor as well, and he actually just does he's a couple of videos where he's actually treating damp, and also he seems to be quite open in giving advice. I think he has a Facebook group where they have various damp specialists, and people post and ask questions and they advise you. So maybe look for him on YouTube. I think it's Damp Sam or something like that his name is. And he'd probably be able to help you with damp problems. I'm sure he would probably, and he seems to be quite cool in that respect in answering questions and helping people with their damp problems. So hope that helps. And he talks a lot about the scams and says, "Oh, you don't need to do that. That's a scam, or that's a waste of money. That's a waste of time." He's sort of like that. He's not just selling, uh, whatever it is. So yeah, check him out. Louis says, "Loving the Cowboy Builder rescue vids. I really wish good builders were easier to find." I know, so do I. I honestly do as well. Really feel for people, especially when I see stuff. I've seen a few things, I really have seen a few things, and it's really it's horrible. It's horrible because people's home is a big part of their lives. It's like most people's biggest investment. It's your home, it's your place of rest and space and stuff, and a lot of people get violated, unfortunately, by all sorts of unscrupulous people. So definitely agree with you there. With this series as well, I believe on Thursday you guys might have seen the video where we mentioned about trying to get a digger into the house. We actually have secured a digger, which I think has been delivered on Thursday. So Thursday, look out for Thursday's video, which will be a very interesting video. Will we get the digger into the house? Will we get it up 5 stairs? Will we get it through the doorway? Will we get it down the hallway of the house, past the stairs, out the back door, and into the garden? Because if you guys saw the video where I did all the measurements, the only way to maybe get a digger into this house is through the front door. So we're gonna try and drive a micro digger through the house and get it. It's the first time I've ever had to do this. I've done small alleyways, but I've never had to get one through a house. So if we can get this through the house, it's gonna make our job so much easier. So hopefully, really pray that we get it through. But watch out for the video, probably Thursday evening. We'll be attempting to get the digger into the back of that garden. All right, cool. Let's move on. Jason says, "Hi Darren, can I just say it's an absolute pleasure watching you and our brothers out there making an honest living and giving a good name to our community. Thanks for sharing your whoops Sorry, it's jumped back. Thanks for sharing your brilliant videos. Thank you, Jason. We appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thanks, Darren. This is Sean. Good luck with your course. Thank you. Mikey says, "Hi, Darren. My house had a fire and has been emptied completely. Bathrooms, kitchen, etc. needs reinstating. I'm in Bournemouth. I feel you're a trustworthy man. Would like you to reinstate my house." Um, Send us an email, Mikey. That's the best way. Send us an email. We can have a chat, and if we can do something, we can. Bournemouth's a little bit far for us, but you never know. I won't say no. So yeah, send me an email, and then I'll see if we can work or help you in any way. Edith says, "I think a good rule of thumb for do I need planning is just to call the planning office in your local town hall for a quick chat about what you're looking to do. They will advise you." Yeah, I think that's good advice. You can just even over the phone, you can yeah, well, I guess that's what you mean, I guess. Yeah, over the phone. So yeah, you could just give them a quick call and just a lot of the time they can give you a rough idea. Also, another thing you can do is check if you're trying to do something, check around to see if neighbors have done a similar thing. If they have and there's some sort of precedent set, it's because your architect, when they submit their planning, often the architect will also put in there an argument, which will say, i.e., number or next door has built similar size, extension, shape, design, or whatever. So if you put that in there, it's more likely for you to get the planning on what you're trying to do. So just check your local area, look around the area, and see if someone has done something similar to you. Also, you've got a reference in the future if anything comes up after the conversation, worth sending the officer a quick mail to confirm the conversation. Jerry says, "Hi, Darren." Hi, Jerry. Mr. Happy, hope all is well, man. Great to see the consistency. Thank you. Consistency is not easy, but I'm dedicated now. I've been doing this YouTube consistently for a little while now, and I think it's start to come like clockwork. It's like a bad habit. It's like I must get these videos up tonight. People want to see it. Like, I'm gonna get the videos edited and up online today. So, if those of you who don't know, I've talked about it before. I edit my videos in the van, literally. I don't, I don't like to come home and be doing stuff like that. So when I get home, I just have family time. So after work, I'll sit in the van, I'll edit my videos, and then once I click upload, then I can drive and start going home. And then hopefully by the time I get home, the videos are already online. So that's how I do it. Okay, let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Rex says, "Not used to seeing you without a hat." I know most people aren't. Always have my hat on for work. Sorry, guys. Oh wow, sorry, all this dust I've been in today. Ivan S. Farm says, "Hi Darren, have you ever used cement board for external cladding? I'm planning to build a timber extension and clad it with cement board." We are actually going to be doing that on the timber extension we do now. Sure. Wow. We're actually going to be doing it on this one. I have done it before, and we're going to be using it for this extension as well. So we'll probably be doing it soon. So look out for the videos on that, and it may be something that you can learn or something that might be helpful. Or if you've got a question about something, we may be able to show it while we're actually doing that as well. Rex says, "In your opinion, what's the toughest trade and what's the most profitable trade?" Oh, it's the toughest trade. Toughest trade. Maybe I think bricklaying is a tough trade. Bricklaying is a very tough trade. And one of the reasons for that is because 99% of the time your work is going to be outdoors. So that means it's nice when it's summertime being outside in your shorts and whatever. But when the weather is hard, when it's cold, when it's rainy, you got to be out there working. If it rains out, you might not be able to work. You can not earn anything. So it's a tough trade in that respect, I think. I think at the moment it's fairly profitable, bricklaying. With anything with a job where people don't want to do it, it tends to be profitable, but it's hard work. It's very hard work. Um, it's very demanding on your body. Profitable, I don't know. I couldn't say what's profitable. I don't know. I think I don't know. I mean, there's fair bits of trades. It depends on how hard you want to work. I think with anything. So it can be very profitable being a bricklayer. It can be profitable being a plasterer. It can be profitable being an electrician. I know some electricians and some plumbers do quite well. Well, you got to be putting in a lot of work. You might have to be doing a lot of work to actually, um, you know, to do well just with anything, I think. Cool. All right. Well, we've got 15 minutes. Let's see where are we? Arthur says, Big Darren. Hi, Arthur. Faizan says, do you reckon building materials will ever come down in price? Someone asked this last week. I think is once things go up, it's very hard for them to come down. Very much doubt we will see prices go down in any time soon. So I'm not betting on that. I know a lot of people were holding off their builds and the extensions saying, oh, we're gonna wait because the prices are too high. I don't think they're really gonna come down. So I mean, hopefully, but I think they're slowed down now. They were like spiking up like crazy, and I think they sort of plateaued a bit now. Maybe very small drops here and there, but I don't think generally there's going to be much drop in prices. The next one, dear Tony, hi Darren. I haven't seen Mr. A in your recent video. I hope he's okay. Someone asked about Mr. A last week as well. He is okay. Last I spoke to him anyway, he did go on a nice big long holiday. I saw him earlier in the year. Yeah, I might actually give him a call sometime soon. Actually, as you're saying that, you remind me that. But last I did speak to him. I did meet him out once, and he was okay. So yeah, he's doing well. Mega Man says, "Where's a good place to buy an external 4-panel timber back door with the other 2 panels glazed to be used for a back door to a garden timber back external?" Oh wow. Uh, well, I couldn't tell you. It's quite specific that maybe look online. There's a lot of door shops online where you can order stuff from door. I mean, you'll just have to have them dimensions. Maybe check online for that. Um, Selco do quite a big range of doors in there in store. So maybe check there if you've got a local one. They've got quite a large range of doors in there. You might find the type of door that you want there. So try that. Um, 456 Brian says, Damp Sam, you mean? Yes, Damp Sam, I think that's his name. That's the guy who does the damp stuff on YouTube. So check him out. Don't let him know I sent you because I don't want him to know about my channel. Otherwise, he might make videos about my plastering. So Dave says, thanks, Darren. Large Family says, hey Darren, how are you doing? And have you started your new course yet? I'm doing well, thank you. I start my course first week of June. I think it's about 3 weeks time is when I officially start it. I've been going through course material, which I've been given already, but I officially start my lessons, my theory lessons on the first weekend of June. So that's my official start day for my course. So I will let you guys know how that's going as I'm progressing through the different phases and so on. And if I pass or fail, no, I'll pass. Mark says, "Hi Darren, love your vids. Can you do that vid you mentioned every first? You say what your YouTubers you watch. You started with Easy the Bricky. I watched him too. Thanks, Darren. Yeah, I did. So I did Easy the Bricky on the first, and I did one on the beginning of this month, which was Alex and Steve Bricklayers. So I actually did do one. You might have missed it. I don't think I did it on the first. I might have did it on the second or something like that. So that was the second video that I've done of that series. So I did do that. So I will do one the beginning of next month as well, which will be a different channel. And it's not going to be a bricklaying this channel, this next one. So check out for that one as well. Let's see. Mega Man says, do you have a structural engineer calculating all the acros for that Cowboy project? No, not for the acros. I do have So that job is a funny one. Basically, let's see if I can give you guys a little bit insight to this job. From what I understand and what I've been told, there's also certain things that I can't say because the case with the builder is in the courts right now. I think they go to court in July officially, but it's been pending in the courts all through the COVID. There was issues with the judge in COVID. There was issues with the clients in COVID. So it delayed everything. But I think that they actually go into court in July. So there's certain things I can't mention or say about of little that I know. So from my understanding at the moment is the builder, there's definitely planning permission for this build. I've seen the planning. I've gone on the portal. I've seen the planning for the for the building. It's been approved. There was planning for this job. The builder who did the job, who I don't think it was actually a builder. I think it was just a guy trying to make some money. And whatever. He probably got guys to do the work and stuff like that. I'm not sure the ins and outs. But basically, he did not contact building control. Now, these are an elderly couple, okay? They don't know about these things. They wanted their house extended. They don't know what the ins and outs of whatever are. They trusted this person. He's like, I can build this for you, whatever. So he should have obviously either instructed them to instruct building control, or he should have done it. So he didn't do any of that. So there was no the building control weren't aware of the job. So a lot of people have been asking where was building control? Where was building control were nowhere because they didn't even know the job was even being done. Okay. So that's the problem with that. So when I'm not sure how it happened, but at some point some department got involved. I don't know if it was maybe someone reported something or whatever. And then I think someone like health and safety or someone got involved. And then it ended up with the council and they came out. So then they came out, the building control came out and assessed the building and had a number of issues. So they basically instructed the owners to get an engineer, which they obviously hadn't at that point, to come in and give them, the council, what the remedies are for the issues that the council brought up, a long list of stuff. So the structural engineer have come in and they've gone through the building and they've made all their remedials of what needs to be done in what way and stuff like that. So they've created this huge report, which I have a copy of, and it includes a lot of information. So we don't have there's not a structural there's not structural anything designed for the acros. Everything as it is now was when we got there. We got there and it was like that. And the council walked away and said, um, because the first thing they had to determine is whether the property was safe to be inhabited. So their report said yes, it was, although there's all these issues, but the house wasn't going to fall down right now. That was the main thing they had to ascertain. So they got the green light on that. So as far as we understand, as the house is now, is secure, and in my opinion, it's fine. It's not going anywhere. So I'm confident of that. You know, moving forward, we have certain plans to do. The acros that are there are just as they were. We actually added some more when we came in, just for our own peace of mind. We added a couple more, like maybe like three more in three different places. Um, but also we're gonna be, because obviously we're gonna take the old steel out, so we're actually going to be using needle props. So we're having something designed for that. So there's going to be a total different system supporting the house when we're ready to take the steels out. We're not ready for that now, so we're not worried about it now. We just sort of leave it as it is. So that's basically, yeah, there's a lot in this. It's really a lot. I try and reveal certain stuff as I'm going along, but you know, customers don't want me to reveal too much because obviously there's a case going on, and obviously the builder could be watching and all this sort of stuff. So, you know, there's only so much I can say. It's not my place to say either. Obviously, it's the customer's privacy. So I try to share what I can. There's not everything I'll be able to answer for you guys, unfortunately. So I hope that sort of helps a little bit to clarify a couple of things. Okay, so gosh, time as usual, running, running, running. We've got so much questions. Let's see where we. Let's keep going down. Let's see. Danny P says, "Hey Darren, missed the beginning of this live. Just got home from work. Love the content. Thank you very much, man. Make sure you rewatch it. It's going to be available to watch after as well, so you can watch the whole thing." Let's see. Um, Primalto says, "When my garage has single block walls, what thickness of insulation would you recommend to go on the internal wall? Also, which is better, rock wall or PIR?" Um, there's different. There is if it's a garage and you're worried about space, probably PIR because you can get away with a thinner PIR for the same thermal properties as the rock wool. So probably PIR is what I would recommend. How you install it is going to be the question, because you're going to probably need some vapor barrier, and if it's a single skin, um, it needs to be in the building needs to be assessed to design what's the best thing to actually use. So, what PIR is probably what I would use for insulation, to minimize the waste of or the loss of space for you. Gary, hi Gary, welcome on board. Okay, I'm gonna try and run through probably maybe about four more, I think, if I can. I try to finish this at 9 o'clock. Okay, Jerry says, I recently got a drive in. We went down 6 inches, 2-inch sub base, and 4-inch concrete with 6-inch steel mesh. That was 4 weeks ago. The concrete is easily marked when we walk on, looks grey, easily marked. Okay, when walked on, is it is the concrete? It sounds maybe the concrete's weak. I'm not sure. How did you lay the concrete? Was it mixed by hand, with a mixer, or was it brought in by machine? Um, if it's easily marked and you did 4 weeks ago, I would imagine in this weather it would pretty much cured by now. So it's possible that the mix might be weak. It's hard to say. It shouldn't really be marked like that, I think. But yeah, I can't say without enough without seeing it. Sorry. Truth said, Darren, would you like to build my extension in Ireland? Why not? Send me an email and we can talk. Mark says, Darren's a man of all trades. I try. Global media. Block and beam versus concrete pour. What are the positives and negatives? Wow. Um, Positive and negatives. Concrete pour, I think, would be quicker. I don't know what's more expensive, to be honest. I haven't done a block and beam, so I have no idea how much it costs. I haven't researched it enough. I'm assuming you're talking about a slab. I'm assuming you're talking about. Um, I I like the concrete idea. I think it's just it works and it's straightforward, and if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. But obviously people have their own preferences of what they like. But I couldn't say enough because I haven't used both, so I can't really give you the pros and cons unless I actually do a block and beam. So maybe hopefully it might be spec somewhere and we do a block and beam, and then I'll be able to give my views on um on the differences. Okay, let's see you. Hi Ray. Hi Wayne. Welcome. Um, Ray says, "Hi. Are you still wearing your work boots on as you're still working?" No, I've got nothing. No boots on today. So yeah, I'm chilling now. Val says, "Hello Darren. You and the team keep up the good work. Thank you very much." Okay, might actually get to the end. Raging Blade says, "Hi Darren. You do know that your live stream clashes with my Champions League appointment." Well, I'm honored that you're here while the Champions. Sorry, I don't follow football, so I have no idea. Like, I don't follow football, so I didn't even know that is on. So yeah, I appreciate that you're here. But we're finishing now, so you can get back to your football. Foyan says, "Hi Darren, good evening. How will the outside of the latest garden house video today will be finished?" It's going to be rendered. It's going to be K rendered. We're just deciding on the color now. There's two gray choices. It's going to be a gray color. Just waiting to confirm what color it is so that we can order that in. So it's going to be gray, gray K rendered. Badger says, well done on taking that cowboy job on, mate. Never seen brickwork like that. Such a shame. The client has been ripped off and paid them. Yes, it honestly has been a shame. But we're definitely going to put that right, and I'm looking forward to it. Um, Global Media says, thanks. Let's see. Okay, these are going to be the last two questions. We're 1 minute past 9. Fine Blue Sky says, you're the hardest working person I know. Don't know how you fit it all in. Good on you. Thanks a lot, man. I try. I really do. And Foreign says, good night. See you on the next vid. Yep. And that is a good one to end it on. So it's 1 minute past 9, guys. And I managed to get to the last one. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys have learned something from this. There's been some help if I've answered your question. If I haven't, I'm sorry I couldn't on this occasion. But hope you guys have a great evening. And I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. So take care.